Sup traders, it's traders here. Let's do a pre-close analysis for the 14th of November, Thursday. We had PPI news at 1:30 UK time, so 8:30 US time, and I was waiting until the news came out before looking for any opportunities to trade, because PPI can also be predictable like CPI, so I didn't really want to be entering trades before then. Let's just dive straight into euro dollar. So euro dollar, I was watching where we took out this sell side liquidity, or we were traded below that sell side liquidity, and I was watching the 50% off that pin bar right above that sell side liquidity, the one at 1.045. So yeah, price essentially, they were inside this pin bar's wick. We had these relative equal lows right here, which on the daily time frame was quite a significant level, but obviously, like I said, we still got this sell side liquidity at 1.045 level that I was watching, and that price could potentially come down it too. So yesterday we closed below the first sell side liquidity with quite a strong bearish candle, and today we've put in another bearish candle. Right, we've had almost 5 bearish days in a row, and this is potential for a TGIF setup. If price comes into this sell side liquidity tomorrow and finds some kind of a support, then that would be a pretty good opportunity to look for longs. So yeah, on the 4-hour time frame, we came into that equal low level at that 50% off that wick as well, and found some support. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see price pushed up and then pushed into the highs of this fair value gap right above those candles, and found resistance so far. And I do believe that was a good area to look for longs, for shorts. And there was also opportunities to go long after this equal low was taken out. And after rejecting that, we're just dropping at the moment. And to me, this is setting up for a channel trade on the 240, which is a strong confluence, a pattern, right? We have RSI diverging on the 2-hour 240 time frame. And tomorrow, at what time we have got news? We got a retail sales at 1:30. Ideally, I want to see price come down to this low, take out that sell side liquidity before looking for any opportunities to go long. We've also got on the 1-hour time frame, right at that 50% level, we've got this 1.05 level. We've got previous day's low, and the fact that we pushed up market structure shift, which at the moment has failed to continue or follow through. To me, that's a very good sign that buyers are stepping into the market, and the next drop that we see could potentially just be a drop where we find a lot more support or find the entry that I'm looking for. But yeah, on the 1-hour time frame, price came down to this level at 5 a.m. So essentially London, post London open, and then just before PPI, we put in a market structure shift. Price displaced up with all of these fair value gaps, and during PPI, we dropped with this bearish candle, and that would have been, or that was a good entry on the 5-minute. We also took out low of the swing, and honestly, entering just after that candle down at that level to these Asian highs would have been a good entry. This is based on the fact that it's a TGIF trade. We've had 3 days of bearish candles, and Thursday, especially during New York session, there's a potential for price to find providing opportunities for TGIF. But because for me, like I don't think I've said, I took a really big win yesterday, and for me, I wasn't really ready to trade unless I saw something that was almost an A+ setup. Had this came yesterday, tomorrow on Friday, then that would be a very good trade. So I'm waiting for this tomorrow, not today. Then we pushed up right above the Asian high into that 240 fair value gap. We don't really have some swings. There's multiple swings that price has taken out, pushed up, and then since making this candle, we've just failed to continue higher up. And like I said, I predict price to come down. Honestly, I'm not sure if we'll come down to that sell side liquidity tomorrow for entry. Maybe we will just find some kind of an entry at this low tomorrow, because I like this range so far. This range right now, if price comes down and consolidates and then takes out this low in the morning, I think that would be a really good opportunity to look for longs. On the 15-minute, had I seen a channel at this 240 fair value gap, I would have looked for opportunity. I would have looked for shorts, but because look at the way it approached that level as well. It's almost like bearish engulfing, then bullish engulfing, bearish, bullish engulfing, bearish, bullish engulfing, inside bar bearish, and then now after that it just continues lower. We close below that New York Open range, consolidate, and then drop. This is during FOMC as well, or Fed speaking. Similar story with pound dollar. We've actually took out a sell side liquidity on pound dollar, this one, but I'm predicting price to come down to the one below at 1.26125, because there is also a bullish fair value gap right below that, and that provides a better point of interest for me. So yeah, today at the moment we're closing down with this strong bearish candle. Again, we've had so many bearish days. Tomorrow I'm looking for TGIF setups. This New York session would have been a TGIF setup as well, but I wasn't ready to trade after a big win yesterday. And yeah, that entry came literally after taking that sell side liquidity around here, and well, targets would have been somewhere similar to euro dollar, right? It came into the fair value gap on this as well. Did it happen to? Yep, tapped into that fair value gap and then it just dropped, pushed up with quite a strong bullish candle. We had a market structure shift. Essentially, this is when price is trapping in all these buyers, and then instead of continuing higher, where people might have put their position at a retracement to trade up to these highs, we've just dropped. And like euro dollar, we have a channel on the pound dollar on the 1 hour time frame, which also lines up, if it is going to continue lower, to this sell side liquidity. And for me, pound dollar is a better setup going into tomorrow than euro dollar, and we've got GDP tomorrow for pound dollar in the morning, so that could potentially just drive price. We're either going to come down here first and then consolidate and then move up, or we're going to just range until then and then drop during GDP news, pound GDP news, and then I'll go long from there. But yeah, the entry I was talking about was so essentially a channel break, which is for me a channel with RSI diverging, but the channel goes through the trend line, and that price makes a low right here, right? We get a microstructure shift right here as well, even here, and then we've got this essentially a liquidity, price leaving liquidity for price to come down to and find support. And that's exactly what it does during news. During PPI, we drop down into this fair value gap below all of this liquidity and then find support and continue higher into that fair value gap. That was the entry. That would have been a good entry straight after the news. This candle right here, after these lows were taken out, would have been a great entry, but I wasn't ready to enter a trade. So yeah, waiting, just gonna see how market reaches this level. Honestly, could also easily just trade on this pullback somewhere, right, at a retracement down to this sell side liquidity, but we've just taken one sell side liquidity out. So although I am predicting price to come down to this sell side liquidity and look for TGIF setups, I'm not really going to be trading down to that level because we've already taken one major level out, which is this. So yeah, let's see how that plays out tomorrow.